Kieran Long. I'm Senior Curator of Contemporary Architecture, Design and Digital at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and we're standing here in the new Acquisitions Gallery showing new things for LDF. Something that myself and my colleague Louise Shannon have been working on is the acquisition of this 3D printed gun manufactured by Cody Wilson, Defense Distributed in Texas. This was a project that sort of came to light in March this year when it got a lot of press. It was the first functioning gun that could be 3D printed anywhere in the world with the help of only a very small standard nail. You could 3D print every other component and theoretically shoot someone if you can get some ammunition. I'm really passionate about this acquisition. It has caused a lot of fuss this week in the press, a lot of interest that the V&A would acquire something like this. But what I've been pleased about is that I think most people have seen it not as something deliberately shocking. They've seen it as a really good signpost to where manufacturing might be going and the implications of new technology. And I think something I'm really passionate about at the V&A is to show the political backgrounds of things, even when they might not be palatable. You know, I don't believe everyone should be carrying guns, and that's not what we're advocating here. But what we are saying is this is possible, and we might have to do something about it if we don't want it to proliferate, if we don't want these things to happen. Design, for me, is the thing that really sort of focuses those questions, brings those questions to ground. And when you see this thing for real, you think, wow, all those things, can they go together and kill someone? And the answer simply is yes. I think there's been a lot of technocratic kind of optimism around 3D printing, particularly in the design world. But when Cody Wilson released this as a non-designer, you know, as an amateur designer effectively, I think it transformed that conversation. I think it changed it into one about, you know, ethical issues around how we want to live together. How do new technologies kind of affect, you know, our relationship to one another in time and in the city? And this gun just sitting there in its parts, for me, is pregnant with all those questions. So the one we have on display right now is a gun that could be put together, but it's actually a stand-in. We printed that out here in London. The prototypes that Cody is sending to us are actually currently sitting in an airport waiting to get on a plane as soon as the relevant license is given. And in a way, this gun that was printed here in London becomes part of the story. You know, it's part of the story of the difficulty of getting the real thing into London. The fun thing about the V&A is that we have a collection of arms and armour. We have guns in the collection. There's nothing strange about that. And actually, we have all the relevant licenses to import firearms. Cody Wilson is himself a licensed weapons manufacturer in the US. The only problem we have is getting an export license for him, and we've had the Department of Culture and Media here involved. We've had all of our technical services people here involved. I mean, an immense bureaucratic effort. At the V&A, all of that goes into a file, and if you're a member of the public, you can come and look at all of that correspondence. You can come and see exactly what it takes to get this into the country, because it is quite a saga. Cody's incredibly articulate about his reasons for doing this, and one of the things I love that he says is that he's never thought about this as design. This is a political act, that's what he calls it. He is a self-confessed anarchist. He believes firmly that the Constitution of the United States guarantees everyone's right to bear arms, and why should the police have guns and ordinary people not be allowed to have guns? He believes that out of principle. I don't share that principle, but he's a principled guy, and he will defend that to you, you know, to the ends of the earth. The design of the gun and its distribution online is a kind of act of politics as much as it is an act of design, and that's when I get really excited, because I think design is something that can tell us about the world.